The next step is to add any configuration that users should be able to set for the block. In our example, we're allowing users to set how many items they want to display for the block. And finally, we need a function that will actually take care of displaying the block. So let's go ahead and go through those steps: supplying information, supplying configuration, and then supplying a view. So let's move on to step 6, which is hook block info. Go ahead and open up that file, copy the contents of that file, and just like we did previously, go ahead and override the entire contents of the trails.module file and save it. Just like our previous steps, this file is identical to the previous file we were working with, except for one new function that we've added, trails block info. And this is an implementation of hook block info. This hook tells Drupal some basic information about the block, including the title that will display on the block management page, as well as how to cache the block. So here, let's go ahead and take a look at these few lines. You can see here that hook block info has a similar structure to hook menu. We set an array of blocks, which contains some metadata about the blocks, and then we return that array. Just like in hook menu, we set menu items and then return an array of those menu items. The key to the blocks array in this case is simply a unique identifier that can be used to identify it when the block is rendered, configured, or when other modules alter the block in the future. And next, we're passing in an array with two key value pairs. First is info, which is the title that will display on the block management page. And secondly is the cache. Now we're setting the cache value to Drupal no cache, which is a constant that says to Drupal, hey, we want to refresh this block on every page for every user. The reason we want to do that is because the value of that block will change on every page load because it will include the history from the last page. Now, if that block is going to be static for a particular user or a particular set of users, we can then set the block to cache in a variety of different ways, and we'll explore those later. And finally, we're returning the array of blocks. Now we only have one block that we're defining here, but we could define multiple ones. Let's see this in action. Go ahead and make sure that your module file is saved. And then let's go to the structure blocks page. If we scroll down, we should see a history block. And sure enough, here it is. We could set this block to display in a particular location. In fact, let's go ahead and do that now. Although, because we're not returning any value for this block, no content will actually display. But let's go ahead and set it to sidebar first and save the blocks. Now, once we have a value that's returned when viewing this block, if we go to a page that uses the default, not the admin theme, then we should see that new block on the sidebar right here.